Last night, the Auditor General revealed that the Prime Minister's hand-picked Liberal cronies running the billion-dollar green slush fund gave companies they owned not $76 million that was revealed last week, but actually $319 million of taxpayer money. This is on top of the Auditor General's findings that $59 million was spent on ineligible projects by these Liberal robbers. That's almost $400 million of taxpayer money that these Liberals took to enrich themselves. So when will these Liberals get the money back?
The Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, here are the sleepy Conservatives again, Madam Speaker. We have said it time and time again. We investigated what happened at STDC, Madam Speaker. We made sure that the chair and the CEO have resigned. We launched an investigation. We suspended the fund to the organization. We supported the Auditor General report. And now we have provided a new governance mechanisms to make sure, Madam Speaker, that we can support the small and medium-sized business in this country which are fighting climate change. When would the Conservative will get on board and support our actions?
The Honourable Member for South Shore St. Margaret's.
This Liberal minister was sleeping at the switch as he sat idly by for 5 years and did absolutely nothing as Liberals stole $400 million of taxpayer money. It took a Conservative motion in this House passed to send documents for these corrupt Liberals to the RCMP with the vote against from the Liberals. The Liberal hacks broke 2 laws, and their lobbyists, the Minister of Environment, joined the Minister of Industry in the getaway car as they funneled $400 million to themselves. So when will the Liberals demand the return of the $400 million stolen by the Prime Minister's personal friends?
The Honourable Minister of Innovation.
Madam Speaker, I'm happy. I know it's Friday, so let's wake up the Conservatives. They've been sleeping, Madam Speaker. I launched the investigation when they were sleeping, Madam Speaker. They were sleeping. It's Friday, but here we go. We started the investigation. We made sure that people would come back and have a new governance model. We made sure we would support our small and medium-sized business. We know they're against climate change, but now we learned they're against small and medium-sized business, Madam Speaker. Can you imagine that? They're against small and medium-sized businesses. We're going to fight for Canadians at every step of the way, restore governance, and fight climate change.
The Honourable Member for St. Albert, Edmonton.
Madam Speaker, yesterday the Auditor General confirmed that a staggering $400 million taxpayers' dollars improperly went out the door at the Liberals' Green Slush Fund. Board members illegally funneled $319 million into their own companies. Meanwhile, the current and former minister turned a blind eye to corruption on a level that makes the sponsorship scandal look small. So now that the corruption has been exposed, what specific steps is the minister taking to get taxpayers a refund?
Honourable Minister.
Here we go again, Madam Speaker. Another one, just wake up, Madam Speaker, and ask a question about something that we have dealt with, Madam Speaker. Canadians want governance. That's what we did. They want to make sure we get to the bottom of things. That's what we did. They want to make sure we restore funding to small and medium-sized businesses so we can fight climate change together, Madam Speaker. I don't mind the sleepy Conservative asking me questions because you know what? I will always fight for Canadians. I will always fight for small business, and we will fight against climate change, Madam Speaker.
In a cabinet of serial lawbreakers, the minister from Edmonton is showing that after 9 years of this NDP Liberal government that this Prime Minister isn't worth the corruption. This is the minister who's been cashing checks from a lobbying firm that's lobbying his own government. And Global News revealed text messages that show a Randy involved in a $500,000 fraud case is at the minister's company. So it's a really simple question, and we haven't been able to get an answer. Maybe the government House leader can tell us today. Why won't they tell us what Randy's last name is?
Honourable Leader of the Government in the House.
Madam Speaker, as this member well knows and has been repeated many times, the minister took an hour to answer the questions coming from, among others, the honourable colleague across. He has lives under the most stringent conflict of interest and ethics guidelines in the world, and he's completely answered all of the questions that have been posed, Madam Speaker.
Member for Leeds Granville, Thousand Islands, Rideau Lakes.
Well, just like the hour we've spent not getting answers from these Liberals, we didn't get any answers from the minister when he was at committee. Just like Conservatives ordered the minister to produce his phone records, and he didn't do that, and now the committee has sent for those same records again. Liberals blocked the summons of the other Randy for coming to committee. Conservatives have now ordered the minister from Edmonton's two business partners to appear at committee in this case of a $500,000 fraud and another Randy. So the question is very simple. We'll see if the government House Leader can answer it. Is the other Randy at Sunnyvale having a cheeseburger picnic, or is he in cabinet with this Prime?
Honourable Leader of the Government in the House.
You know, Madam Speaker, in an age of climate change, in an age of ensuring tax fairness, in an age of a number of major issues facing the country that we continue to work on, it is amazing to me every time this minister gets up and asks a question that has been asked dozens of times in this chamber, answered dozens of times in this chamber and in committee, the minister has responded to all of that, Madam Speaker.